I think I'm sucking at this, guys. I think I'm sucking at the 7-question challenge. Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. HalfClickUp here. This morning we are going to tackle the MotoVlogger 7-question challenge. Now, we were nominated by Ride Rad. If you're not familiar with Ride Rad, he is a motovlogger out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and he's nominated us to complete this task at hand. And so without further ado, let's knock it out. Question number 1. What motivated you to first get a motorcycle? Well, that one's easy. It's probably the easiest one to answer. Back when I was like 12, 13 years old, my dad was stationed at Camp Pendleton down near San Diego, California. And he had, if I recall, he had a red Suzuki Intruder. Pretty sure that's what it was. And that was my first ride on a motorcycle. It was out there in SoCal. And, ooh, you know what? Stand by. We didn't even, no, we didn't. Why didn't you guys tell me something, man? Oh, by the way, I apologize for the phone being in the way here, but it's holding our list of questions. And so it's kind of necessary. Oh, I mean, I think I might be able to remember all 7 of them, but probably not. Okay, there we go. Yeah, man, why don't y'all say something? Freaking could have lost. Well, we've already lost our damn Senna. Probably would have just lost our Shoei going down the interstate at 90 miles an hour. Next thing you know, we ain't got a helmet. Of course, that wouldn't have happened, but yeah. So Suzuki Intruder, and I was baptized by fire, guys. My dad popped a helmet on my head, stuck me on the pillion of this thing, and we didn't go cruise around like for any kind of an orientation of any type. We went straight to I-5, headed down towards San Diego, and he was living in like Oceanside, Carlsbad at the time. Yeah, hit I-5, and so my introduction to motorcycle riding was a combination of terror and exhilaration. And of course, that combination of terror and exhilaration stuck with me, man. As a young man, that stuff sticks with you, and it's always in the back of your mind. You're always thinking about it, you know. And so yeah, fast forward to my later adult years, and I still had like this little fear of motorcycles, but an attraction, right? It's the fear that attracts you to it, and that's something I wanted to overcome for myself. And now that I've been riding on 2 wheels for 5 years, it feels like I've always been riding motorcycles. It's a good thing. Okay, question number 2. What type of riding do I prefer? Twisties, straight, solos, or groups? Well, I don't know. I guess it it totally depends on the situation and the mood, right? Now, for me, and some of these questions, I kind of have a disadvantage because I'm a commuter, guys. I don't typically have recreational fun on my motorcycle because I commute daily. It's just, you know, this is my form of transportation to and from work, like 98% of the time. So, you know, twisties, definitely. You ride a sport bike, you're naturally gonna love twisties. I do like to lay Evelyn down, so to speak. Not exactly knee dragging, but not far off either. Straights, you know, I've topped this bike out in the past. Did 140, well, okay, 139 if you want to be technical, close enough. And that was a one-time deal, kind of just a confirmation of, yeah, that's the bike's top speed. It's what they say, about 140 miles an hour, and sure enough, there you go. And again, solo or groups. Solo, it goes along with the fact that I commute daily, yeah. And solo, you know, for you guys, solo is of course when I do my motovlogging thing. Groups is cool, sketchy at best, but cool. Back when I lived over in the Dallas area, I went to the spring break ride put on by Stay Broke Crew and Careless up there, and you know, great footage for sure, but very sketchy. You know, group rides are a strange dynamic, man. Very strange dynamic. You've got to be very careful when you're riding in a large group. The smaller groups where you're like paired up with, you know, the sin I no longer have, that's fun. I've done that a couple of times, and it's cool being able to have conversations with folks. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we're taking the reverse of our typical ride home in the afternoons this morning, because I simply need more time to answer all these questions. Can't get to work too fast this morning. We'll sabotage the whole thing. Alright, whoa, let's not wreck trying to do this, right? Okay, here we go. Question number 3, what is my favorite trip? Day, weekend, or longer? Well, I have no experience with anything more than a day trip on a motorcycle. And again, commuting's the main thing, man. Day trips, few and far between. I don't really ride with anybody anymore. Like back in Shreveport days, a co-worker and I would ride. He had a 2009 R6 Type S, and we would ride from Shreveport to Jefferson, Texas, and check out some place called like Steamboat something or another. It was like a little dive bar with some pretty good food. You know, that was fun, but you know, crap guys, day trip at best, you know. Now I have been approached by Red Moto. If you don't know Red Moto, check him out. He's offered for me to accompany him on his next trip to the Three Sisters ride. Is this shaking exponentially? Like more than usual? Seems like it is. You guys okay? God, it must be the road. I guess I never noticed that on this road before. I digress. And so the Three Sisters ride, some have referred to it as the Three Twisted Sisters. It's down there between Austin and San Antonio, I think. It's in Texas Hill Country, and it is some awesome looking riding. It's just for me to get down there and make it happen. Red Moto and I have been having discussion on all that, and I'd really like to get this bike, the valve adjustment done, and before I can even think about taking any kind of a trip like that, trailer or not, this bike needs new tires. But totally straying from the question. Anyways, number 4, what's your favorite riding destination? Well, crap guys, goes along with what I was just talking about. I don't know. What we got here? Yeah, a rail bike. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really had any legit riding destination, man. I think I'm sucking at this, guys. I think I'm sucking at the 7-question challenge. I don't have good answers. I don't know. I'd love to ride in SoCal again. I only did it that couple of times with my dad. I'd like to pilot my own machine in Southern California one day. Probably never gonna happen. Number 5, biggest lesson learned from motorcycling. Oh, that one's easy. Nobody, no matter how much you want to believe it, nobody sees you. They can even be looking at you, they don't see you. They don't. It's a thing. They might see past you, but they don't see you. And if you want some evidence of that, check out my Dallas Ridiculousness series and my Wackos and Waco series. People don't see you, man. It also kind of goes along with what Ride Rad was saying. Situational awareness. Head on a swivel all the time. For sure. Alright, question number 6. Words of wisdom for someone wanting to ride motorcycles. Well, obviously, it goes back to what I was just talking about. Understand that when you decide to get on 2 wheels, man, nobody really sees you. Suddenly you are in a permanently defensive posture on the road, you know, on the highway, and there's just no way around it. Every single time you get on the bike, and for me that's often because it's basically every day, you will encounter something that is absolutely asinine that could have possibly resulted in you losing your life. It's a thing. It's just, it is what it is, guys. There's no way around it. So, you know, if you're willing to accept that responsibility on your day-to-day, then by all means, get on two wheels. Now, it's all part of conquering the fear, man. It becomes a skill set, right? You get better at it with time. So don't let the fear discourage you. You have to overcome that, man, and it's worth it. It's definitely worth it in the end. Next question. Oh, hey, let me back up though. Number 6 again, words of wisdom for someone wanting to ride motorcycles. Always look through the turn, not in the turn. Always look through the turn, not in the turn. That's how you avoid target fixation, man. Also, in a high traffic situation, when in doubt, throttle out. That's right, don't ever hang around. Don't ever hang around in heavy traffic, man. Throttle through it. Get in a pickle, get in a tight spot, throttle through it. Get out of there. You're faster than they are. Always remember that. If you're not getting out of their way, you're getting out of your own. Also, don't ever ride past your ability, man. I can't express that enough. Don't ever ride past your riding ability. You know, it's common sense. You know what that means. Stay within your skill set. Number 7 was my next big ride destination. Well, we've pretty much already had this discussion, but I'll answer it. It may or may not be the Three Sisters ride. I'm gonna have to see where we're at with the bike on that. I just realized it's like basically misting. It's just kind of foggy. Well, anyways, I guess the next thing you're supposed to do is nominate someone else to do the 7-question challenge. And so I nominate none other than Jiggy Moto. You're supposed to do 2 people, I think. So Jiggy Moto, Jiggy, if you're watching, man, hey, we know you're back on 2 wheels. Time to man up, guy. 7-question challenge. Let's hear it. And my other choice is a subscriber that he spotted me yesterday. He is Rock and Roll Rider. He's here in Waco. And he's got just a little bit of material right now on his channel. You can go check him out, but he's actually really funny. He kind of had me laughing out loud. LOL. So there you go. Jiggy Moto and Rock and Roll Rider, I'm calling you guys out, man. The MotoVlogger 7-question challenge. Knock it out, fellas. But yeah, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. You guys know what to do. Click the bell if you want. This has been HalfClickup. This has been me. That's been you. I'm out of here. Peace. Catch you on the next one. Goodbye.